For most of my life, I struggled with relationships. I wasn't unattractive, nor was I particularly unkind or unintelligent, but there was always something missing. Women came and went, leaving me with nothing but unanswered questions and a lingering sense of failure. For years, I told myself it was their fault. They were too picky, too emotional, too impossible to understand. But deep down, I knew the problem wasn't them. It was me. I just didn't know how to fix it. My journey toward understanding women and building a meaningful relationship began, ironically, after my worst heartbreak. Her name was Emily, and I had convinced myself she was the one. We had been together for nearly 2 years, and yet one evening, without much explanation, she told me she couldn't do it anymore. "I just don't feel understood," she had said, and that was it. No angry words, no bitter fights, just a quiet, painful end. That night, I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror and asked myself a question I had never dared to before. What am I doing wrong? I decided that, for once, I wasn't going to blame anyone else. I needed to figure out what was missing, and I needed to do it honestly. So I started listening. Not just hearing, not just waiting for my turn to speak, but truly listening. The first thing I learned was how much I had been treating relationships like a transaction. I would do something nice and expect something in return. I would listen to problems with the sole intent of fixing them, rather than simply being present. I realized how often I had dismissed emotions, not because I didn't care, but because I didn't know how to engage with them. I began talking to women differently, not just women I was interested in romantically, but all women. I asked them about their thoughts, their fears, their passions, and instead of waiting for my turn to insert my own experiences, I just let them speak. And what I found was incredible. There was so much depth to the people around me that I had been missing simply because I wasn't looking for it. Over time, I changed. I stopped trying to impress and started trying to connect. I let go of the idea that I needed to be perfect, and instead I embraced vulnerability. I admitted when I was scared, when I was confused, when I didn't know what to do. And to my surprise, it didn't push people away. It drew them closer. When I met Rachel, I knew something was different. She wasn't just beautiful or interesting, she was real. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was real too. Our conversations weren't about impressing each other or hiding flaws. They were about understanding, about sharing our lives in a way that was honest and unguarded. The night I knew I had truly changed was when Rachel was telling me about a problem at work. My old self would have jumped in, offering solutions and advice before she could finish. But instead, I just listened. I let her express everything she needed to, and when she was done, I didn't try to fix it. I just told her, "That sounds really hard. I'm sorry you're going through that." She looked at me, eyes filled with something I had never seen before, and said, "Thank you. That means a lot." That was when I realized what love really is. It isn't about grand gestures or saying the right things. It's about presence. It's about truly seeing someone, hearing them, understanding them without trying to change them. And when you do that, when you create that space for someone, they do the same for you. Now, when I look in the mirror, I don't see the same man who stood there that night after Emily left. I see someone who finally understands what it means to love and be loved in return.